Hello pupils, you are welcome to General Studies class. I am Uncle Popo. Uncle Popo is here, your response, I am also here. We are here together, 100% attention. Uncle Popo is here, I am also here. We are here together, 100% attention. 100% attention is what I need from you. Today's subject is Basic Science and Technology. That's the subject we want to treat today. Basic Science and Technology. Before we go into today's topic in details, I want you to tell me, when do we sing this song? Now listen. Rain, rain, go away, come again another day. Brilliant children want to play. Don't say little children, say brilliant children. Let's go again. Rain, rain, go away, come again another day. Brilliant children want to play. Good. When it's raining, okay. The next one. Never play in the sun, a scorching one. Never play in the sun, a scorching one. Never, 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 never play in the sun, a scorching one. Good. That means when it's sunny. So when we talk about rain, we talk about sun, that means we are talking about weather. So today, we want to treat weather as a topic. So I want you to calm down. What did I say? Calm down and give me your 100% and give me your 100% attention as we proceed into this lesson. Let's look at the learning objectives. Learning objectives. By the end of today's lesson, you should be able to define what the weather is, and secondly, you should be able to list components of weather and their measuring instruments. So, moving on, let's look at the definition of weather. This is actually showing how weather looks like, but now let's look at the definition of weather. Weather is the condition of our atmosphere at a given place and at a given time. Weather is the condition of our atmosphere at a given place and at a given time. We can say weather is the atmospheric condition of a place for a short period of time. When we talk about weather, we are actually looking at it at a very short period of time. The weather of today, the weather of tomorrow, it can only take day by day. So moving on to the next one, the day-to-day changes in conditions like rain or sunshine make our weather. Like I said before, it is day-to-day changes. The day-to-day changes in conditions like rain or sunshine make our weather. Like this morning, they ask you how, like now, if they ask you how does the weather look like, you should be able to say if it is raining or if it is sunny. So that is day-to-day changes. Now let's look at climate. Weather and climate are not used interchangeably. They are different. Let's look at the definition for climate. Climate is the weather in a place through the whole year. Climate is the weather in a place through the whole year. We can also say that climate is the atmospheric condition of a place for a long period of time. And that one is not day-to-day changes. That takes a year. So that's the difference. One is for a very short period of time, that is weather. And for climate, it takes a long period of time, that is, it takes yearly. So climate is the weather in a place through the whole year. So the difference is one is for a short period of time, day to day, and one takes a long period of time, that is within a year. The Nigerian climate varies greatly depending on the region. Therefore, there are two seasons. How many seasons? We have two seasons. That's the rainy and the dry season. The rainy season and the dry season. Now, let me ask you, what season are we now? Some do actually know. It's only when you say that rain is falling that you want to say it's rainy season, or when it's sunny, you want to say it's dry season. So we will look at the date or month for the rainy season and the dry season. We all know when we talk about rain, so just to show that when it's raining, we actually mean days. You can see. So moving on to the rainy season. The rainy season takes between April to October. That's from April to October. That is our rainy season. If you are in between that period of April to October now, that means now this is August. That means we are in rainy season. It takes from April to October as rainy season. Now moving on to the next one, and dry season. Dry season takes November to March. November to March is the dry season. Don't forget, November to March is our dry season. Now what are the components of weather? The features of weather. If you say weather, what are those things we are actually talking about? The components of weather, the first one here is temperature. Temperature, I believe all of us are aware of. When they say somebody has temperature, or you heard of there is temperature here, you all know what it means. Now let's look at it here. Temperature is the hotness or the coldness of the day. The hotness or coldness of the day. Or we say the degree of how cold or hot something or a place is. That's the temperature. That is the hotness or coldness of the day. Now moving on, let's look at what instrument do we use in measuring temperature. The instrument for measuring temperature is called thermometer. I believe we all know that. Thermometer is the instrument used for measuring temperature. It measures how hot or how cold a place or object is. The instrument is thermometer. What instrument do we use for measuring temperature? Thermometer, very correct. So moving on to the next component of weather, and that is wind. Everybody say wind. Wind. What is wind? The movement of air is called wind, or we say air in motion. That is wind. The day may have light or strong winds blowing. On a rainy day, the winds are normally very strong. So the moving here, or the movement of air, is called wind. So what instrument do we use to measure wind? Don't forget, the instrument used for measuring the direction of wind is wind vane. Is what? Wind vane. That is the instrument used for measuring the direction of wind. Where the direction of wind comes from, we use wind to measure the direction. So this is wind vane here. It shows the direction of wind. This is the west, the north, the south, and the east. So anywhere the wind comes from, it moves to the direction to indicate that that's where the direction of wind is coming from. Now let's look at another one. Here we want to look at the speed of wind. What instrument do we use for measuring the speed of wind? The instrument used for measuring the speed of wind is an anemometer. So what instrument? An anemometer is the instrument used for measuring the speed of wind. And this is the diagram here. It tells you how, it measures how it's moving with speed. So we have the instrument here to show, and it tells how it's moving at a very great speed. It shows here. So the instrument used for measuring the speed of wind is an anemometer. Don't forget the first one, the instrument used for measuring the direction of wind, that's wind vane. The speed of wind is an anemometer. And next one is the instrument used for measuring air pressure is barometer. Everybody say that. Barometer. That is the instrument used for measuring air pressure. And this is the diagram of a barometer here. It's used for measuring the pressure, for measuring air pressure. That is barometer. We have talked about three now. the direction of wind, wind vane, the speed of wind, anemometer, and air pressure barometer. Now, another component of weather is humidity. That's another component of weather. What do we mean by that? It's the amount of moisture in the air. The amount of moisture in the air. When we talk about amount of moisture in the air, that means how cold the air is, especially when it's raining. So that is humidity. What instrument do we use? The instrument used for measuring humidity is hygrometer. Is what? Hygrometer. And this is the diagram of hygrometer. It measures the humidity. That's the instrument. Moving on to another component, and that is rainfall. This is very familiar to us, rainfall. So what instrument do we use for measuring rainfall? Before I even tell you. Good, I have brilliant children. This is the amount of water falling from a cloud. We know when rain is falling. So the particular instrument used for measuring that is what? You've already said it, and that is rain gauge. So the instrument for measuring rainfall is called rain gauge. So this is the typical diagram of how rain gauge looks like. So that is the instrument. So in today's lesson, we have successfully talked about what weather is, and we talked about climate. We differentiated them. Now, we said that weather is a condition of our atmosphere at a given place and at a given time. Then I put it in another form to say that weather is the atmospheric condition of a place for a short period of time, while climate is the atmospheric condition of a place for a long period of time. Weather takes day-to-day changes, while climate takes within a year. So we talked about types of season, that's dry season and wet season, and we talked about the date for dry season and the month for wet season. We also talked about the components of weather and the measuring instrument like temperature, thermometer, wind. When you are finding the direction of wind, wind vane, you are finding the speed of wind, anemometer, and for air pressure, we use barometer. The instrument for measuring humidity, hygrometer, rainfall, and the instrument for that is rain gauge. Now, we want to test you to see how you have really calmed down and given me your 100% attention. So this is time to test. Take your Bible and write this and answer these questions. Your time starts now. Eyes on me. Good job, you. I believe these questions are too cheap for you to answer. So let's see how you have answered correctly. Differentiate between weather and climate. Weather is a condition of our atmosphere at a given place and at a given time, while climate is the weather in a place through the whole year. Weather is day-to-day, climate takes within a year. List any three components of weather: the temperature, the rainfall, the wind, humidity, and so on. What do we use the following instrument to measure? Hygrometer, we use it to measure humidity. Anemometer, we use to measure the wind speed. And thermometer for temperature. We have come to the end of today's lesson. Good job, you. Bye.